This story is absolutely insane. I don't even know what to make of it. Trump said to have secretly used military jet to leave Turkey amid threats. Trump, who's like doing his own, I guess, G.I. Joe war LARP right now, where he's pretending that he's engaged in some kind of active conflict with a peer nation or whatever. He's genuinely petrified of being assassinated by Iran. It's all the people around him are just trying to like keep him engaged a little bit. Like the people around him want to wage war for Israel, right? So one of the best ways to do that is to convince him that his life is permanently under threat by Iran. I saw that. I don't know if you guys saw this because it's genuinely insane. But Trump was golfing yesterday and kept a AN/TWQ-1 SHORAD air defense system and Sentinel radar along with him. He's golfing right now. Can I find? Hold on. There's a clear image of this that I saw. He's literally golfing right next to air defense systems because he's petrified of an Iranian strike. This is him. This is the president. They wheeled out air defense systems to protect him directly. Is that barbed wire? Yeah, to protect him from a close-ranged assault. No doubt. I don't know. TMZ wrote an article on this. Avenger surface-to-air missile system protected Trump while golfing. He's insisting on this, in no doubt, because he actually thinks it's going to protect him. Most paranoid president. You know, most of the people in the Trump administration are petrified of assassination, right? They all know that they're just here to rape the country to death. Like, they're all aware of the fact that they're evil. Not a single one of them thinks they're doing anything for the people. Like, so many Trump administration officials, there have been private reports of them being, like, incredibly paranoid of assassination. They live on military bases. They take huge amounts of money for their personal security details. Like, they're aware of the fact that they're despised and are just here to rape us to death and rape kids. You know, they know that. Just remarkable, really unprecedented.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm not worried about missiles and drones. we got it covered right there. Yes, sir.
Missiles and drones. Okay, yeah. So the main story here, this is just like a funny thing he did yesterday, and it is very funny. But the main story here is that last month, fearing an Iranian assassination attempt, he engaged in a complicated chain of escapes, which involved him hiding in a catering container. They actually stuffed Trump inside of those carts that they push down the aisle. How do you fit? I don't know. No, it wasn't one of those carts. Was it one of the larger ones they used to bring to the plane? Here, we can just read the article. Hold on. Oh, it was a catering vehicle. Ah, that's less funny. Well, let's read the article. Top administration officials engaged in an elaborate deception to spirit Trump out of Turkey during the NATO summit there last month, transporting him in a catering container to a military jet because of a threat against him and Air Force One from Iran. Trump and other officials had said publicly he'd be leaving Turkey on July 8th aboard one of the older versions of Air Force One rather than the luxury 747-8 donated by Qatar. Trump told reporters he was making the switch for old time's sake. He boarded the older plane, which is, remember, the original Air Force One, from the left side door in view of cameras. And it was reported he traveled on it to Britain, where he switched back to the newer plane. The Times reported at the time the decision was driven apart by concern for security. But instead of flying out aboard the original Air Force One, he was whisked off that plane via a catering container that had been lifted to the opposite side of the plane from where the journalist traveling with him boarded. Here we go. This is the catering container. They put him in the box. So he boarded the original Air Force One and then snuck out the back in a catering container. Then he took a third plane, which he flew in secret to Britain. There were still journalists on the original Air Force One who thought they were sharing the plane with the president, but Trump was on a third plane. So I guess, like, fearing an Iranian missile strike, they just left the journos in the Air Force One to get blown up or whatever. That's kind of funny. They're like, sir, we have a credible threat against this airplane. They just like, okay, bring Caitlin Collins aboard or whatever. That's fucking funny. Reporters on the older plane were not told that Trump had not flown with them from Turkey to an airbase in Britain, making them unwitting participants in the ruse, serving as unknowing decoys. After Trump arrived in Britain, he secretly moved back to the older Air Force One. He then disembarked in view of reporters and walked across the tarmac. There's no real threat here. Like, there's no actual reason why Trump needs an Avenger surface-to-air missile platform next to him while he golfs. I really think that, like, the only way for his handlers to convince him that this war is something he needs to keep paying attention to is by involving him. It's kind of like the warfare equivalent of how Trump's cabinet realized during his first term that he literally would not pay attention to his daily briefings unless they included his name in them. So, like, the only way for him to care about, to care about the Iran war is for him to be at the center of it. He has to be, like, doing Mission Impossible stuff. He's actually just that stupid, I think. No, yeah, he's very dumb. I mean, it's not even a matter of baseline intelligence. He's mentally gone. He has been for a while. He's met consistently and excessively every imaginable symptom of being senile. Like, he literally, like, on every level. But it doesn't matter, again. The whole plan is to keep carting him around while the infinite rape continues. Are you sure? Why wouldn't Iran want him dead at this point? Dog, Trump gave Iran the Strait of Hormuz. Also, like, Iran doesn't have the ability to just shoot Air Force One out of the sky. You realize, like, any drone or missile fired by Iran at Air Force One would... I mean, I guess given how incompetent the U.S. military has been and how low we are in interceptors, honestly, who knows? But, like, I guarantee you that I guarantee you Trump thinks that Iran is capable of striking him in America. They do want him dead. They were voting on a bill to put a $40 million bounty on his head. Oh, that's just for fun. That's not real. I mean, they'd do it if they could, get away with it, but whatever. That's just keeping the kayfabe up. This is basically unprecedented, by the way. I don't even, like...
Given the pictures that you can see now, it makes what the president told reporters in that gaggle afterward all the more noteworthy.
You're saying there wasn't a security concern?
No. Why would they?
Do you know why they had us close our window blinds? That was not usual.
Well, yeah, because you're, probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleazebags that we have to deal with.
So you think that Iran...
Will the internet even exist in a few years? No, I would say that within the next couple of years, we're probably going to start seeing like really dramatic, widespread internet outages. There are going to be infrastructural failures on every level. Here, hold on. We can just take a look at the full CNN segment for this. Or perhaps something a little bit more infotainment.
News is now breaking that Trump secretly switched from Air Force One to a C-32 on his flight from Ankara to the UK, and he did so by hiding in a catering truck. This is how it happened, according to reports. On July 6th, Trump took the new Air Force One, the VC-25B, from the United States to Ankara, Turkey, for a NATO summit. While there, reports surfaced that because of an Iranian assassination threat, Trump would be switching from the VC-25B to the VC-25A, the plane you know as the old Air Force One, for his...
Okay, this wasn't actually that entertaining. It's mostly just info without the entertainment. I guess that's my job. The internet's not fragile at all? Buddy, you have no idea. Conspiracizing about Trump. Claims she has a button fitted on her belly, and when she gets the nod that he's asleep, she moves her hand and presses a button that wakes him. They're calling it the zapper. Sure, why not?
Actually, more than a year ago, where we funded a dozen and more major research teams to answer the question of what is the cause of autism.
Yeah, why not? I believe it. This is the handler he's fucking, right? This is that, like, weird out-of-nowhere Mossad agent bitch who just showed up and started, like, changing his diapers or whatever. What's this woman's name? Wait, what? Oh, no, you're right. It's a blonde lady. Did she not just dye her hair? I don't know. I believe it. It's fine. How is he even capable of fucking anymore? Well, he probably doesn't, like, have sex. They probably just hand him toddlers to, like, fondle or whatever. Okay, yeah, this is the person. So wait, who's this lady? I don't know. I'll believe any conspiracy theory you tell me about Trump. I'm so past, like, skepticism at this point. Yeah, it's not great.